No nanny survived a day with the Millionaire's triplets, until a young single mom knocked on the door looking for work. It was just past dawn when Emily stood at the towering gates of the Whitmore estate, her worn-out sneakers damp from the morning dew. In one hand, she clutched a folder of old resumes, in the other, she held her son's tiny hand. 5-year-old Lucas looked up at the mansion with wide eyes, whispering, "Do you think they'll give you the job, Mama?" Emily forced a hopeful smile. "We'll find out." Inside the house, chaos reigned. 3 red-headed whirlwinds, Connor, Clara, and Caleb, were in full rebellion. They had broken 4 nannies in the past 2 weeks. The last one had left in tears after a gallon of chocolate syrup mysteriously ended up on the living room chandelier. Their father, Ethan Whitmore, a tech tycoon and widower, had almost given up. His late wife used to handle everything. Since her passing, the triplets, just 4 years old, had grown wild with grief and mischief. The nannies weren't just caretakers, they were walking targets. Emily wasn't supposed to be there. The job posting had been taken down days ago. But desperation brought her to the front steps anyway. Rent was overdue. Lucas needed shoes. And Emily, once a promising psychology student, had put everything on hold when her boyfriend left the moment he learned she was pregnant. When the housekeeper answered the door, she gave Emily a skeptical look. "Mr. Whitmore isn't seeing anyone." "Please," Emily said, her voice steady. "Just 5 minutes. I've raised my son alone. I know what it's like when kids are hurting." Something in her voice softened the woman's expression. She stepped aside. "Wait here." Inside the grand study, Ethan was buried in emails, barely noticing the cereal stuck to his collar from a triplet's earlier tantrum. When the housekeeper cleared her throat and introduced the walk-in applicant, he didn't even look up. "Tell her it's not going to work. I'm done interviewing." "Sir," the housekeeper hesitated, she brought her child with her. "Says she knows what it's like to raise kids who are hurting." That made Ethan pause. He glanced up, and for a moment, saw someone who didn't flinch at chaos or wealth. Just a mother, standing tall with her son at her side, looking determined. 10 minutes later, Emily was sitting on the floor of the nursery, surrounded by puzzle pieces and suspicious stares from the triplets. "I'm not here to make you behave," she told them. "I just want to understand you." They blinked. No one had said that before. She didn't scold when Caleb tossed a block. She picked it up and said, "Is that how you feel? Like everything's falling apart?" He looked stunned up. By the end of the day, not only had Emily survived, she had the kids laughing, reading books, and even helping her make snacks. Ethan watched from a distance, bewildered. No screaming. No syrup bombs. Just peace. Emily was hired on the spot. Days turned into weeks, and the Whitmore home began to change. Emily didn't just bring routine, she brought heart. She taught the triplets how to talk about their mom, how to draw what they felt, how to cry without shame. She let them be loud, silly, scared. And they began to heal. Ethan noticed it too. He found himself lingering longer during bedtime stories, listening to his children giggle in a way he hadn't heard in years. One night, he joined them on the couch, where Emily was reading aloud. Clara climbed into his lap, and he felt her small arms hug him tightly. It nearly broke him. "Thank you," he whispered to Emily afterward, voice cracking. "You've done what no one else could." Emily smiled softly. They didn't need a nanny, Mr. Whitmore. They needed someone who'd listen. But just as the bond grew, an unexpected letter arrived. Emily's scholarship, deferred for years, had been reactivated. A full ride to finish her psychology degree. It was everything she dreamed of. Still, her heart twisted. Leaving meant saying goodbye to the children who had started to feel like family. Ethan found her in the garden, staring at the letter, eyes misty. "They need you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. But so do my dreams. He nodded slowly. Go, he said. Finish what you started. You believed in them when no one did. It's time to believe in yourself too. The goodbye was tearful. The triplets clung to her, but Emily promised to visit, and she did, often. Letters, video calls, and holiday visits kept them close. Years later, at her graduation, 3 red-haired children, now nearly 10, sat in the front row, clapping the loudest. Beside them sat Ethan, proud and grateful. Emily's story wasn't just about surviving a wild day with unruly kids. It was about how broken hearts find each other. How healing is messy and loud and deeply human. And how sometimes, the right person doesn't come with credentials or fancy degrees, but with understanding, love, and a child's small hand in hers. Because sometimes, the strongest homes are built not from bricks or wealth, but from compassion.